Hi, everybody. This is Philip Martin, and this is OnFilm on video. We do this every week here at the at the movies desk, and we've been doing it for quite a while. So we started right after lockdown, and we've continued, and we'll probably continue after we're back out, wild in the streets. So, anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Oscar nominations today because I'm not really. I may be running a piece on it. I don't know. We have a nice Anne Hornaday column. Well, Hannah Hornaday from the Washington Post, who's a very good film writer, and we have a nice column from her about the Academy Award nominations. But I don't know if it's going to make it in the paper yet because we, as I've pointed out in this thing before, we do this several days in advance. So I'm going to talk a little bit about them myself, and if we run something in the newspaper about them, great. If not, then at least we've got this sort of civic ritual covered for the time being. I'm not very much of an Oscar person, and it's really always interesting to me the way that people, friends of mine, people that we actually put in our newspaper around this time of year are actually around Oscar time. And I don't know whether we're going to do it or not this year. I think we probably will, but we're getting a late start. Can pick winners, and they can pick them at a clip of 90% or more. And it's not that hard. It's sort of like if you know what to look for, you look at the way the guilds go and the way nominations come out in the Spirit Awards and things like that, and the way the hype is going, you can sort of suss it out and sort of say that this is going to win this, this is going to win this, this is going to win this, and be right 85-90% of the time. People have proved it. Sam Blair, Danny Jo Crawford, Blake Rutherford, my friend Jay Russell, all these people, Joe Riddle, all these people who pick these Oscars for me always do really well. And I always do less well, though, because I don't care. And, and because I just sort of like pick what I want to win and just let it go at that. Though I'm very cognizant of the fact that that the Oscars mean absolutely nothing to my life. It's not like I have anything invested in them. It's a Chamber of Commerce banquet for the film industry. They get to pick who they want and honor who they want, and that's fine. It has nothing to do. I'm not going to get outraged about somebody being snubbed. I'm not going to get outraged by a movie I don't like winning. It just doesn't faze me that way. At the same time, I understand there's a lot of interest, and I'm always asked for my opinion. I'm happy to give my opinion. That's my job. And so let's get into it. I'm going to use a cheat sheet here because I don't know these offhand. And we will go through them as we go through them. Best Picture. I believe there are 8 this year. And there can be as many as 10, as few as 4. But I think there's 8. Okay, we're going to look. These are in alphabetical order, obviously. The Father, which I just saw. Not going to win. No, it's good. It's good. It's good, and it's a horrifying movie. It's a movie that will really scare you if you have, if you want to have your wits about you when you get older. It's a movie about dementia. It's sort of like Losing Alice from a few years ago. It's really scary. Anthony Hopkins is tremendous in it. It probably does as well as you can do with a movie. Give you that feeling of dislocation, which I don't have dementia, so I don't know what it's like. But it makes me feel like I know what it's like by watching this movie. Things change, and you don't quite understand where you are in time. It's like you're Billy Pilgrim and Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five. You're stuck in time. People appear to you in different guises. The rooms that you're walking through seem to change. Oh, it's really scary. And Hopkins is tremendous, and Olivia Colman is tremendous. We'll get to them later. Judas and the Black Messiah definitely could win. Definitely is a very well-made movie, and I enjoyed it very much. And it tells a story that needs to be told in this particular moment about Fred Hampton, the Black Panther leader, 21-year-old Black Panther leader, who was basically assassinated by the FBI. All right. Mank. I like it. It's a technical achievement. I love the way it looks. I love the way it felt. I think it's very much a movie person's movie. I don't think it has much of a chance to win. Minari, which I have talked about incessantly, I think. It's Arkansas set. It's beautifully written. It's a wonderful little film. It's not the kind of film that ordinarily gets nominated for an Oscar because it is very small scale. It is basically nobody knows any of the actors. Steve Ewan has the highest profile, and it's not that high. He was in Burned a few years ago, and I think he's in something else that I don't watch. Oh, Walking Dead or something. And it's a really tremendous movie. It's one of the best movies of the year. I would hold it up there. It and Nomadland, which is the next one on the list, are my two favorite movies of the year. And there's a very thin line dividing them, and it's just a matter of preference. I just kind of like the expansiveness of Nomadland and the scope of it. But Minari is like a memory play, and it reminds me so much of Roma from a couple of years ago. And Lee Isaac Chung is up for Best Director, too. I could certainly see... I can't see Minari winning Best Picture. I can see Chung winning Best Director because it's one of those funny things that sometimes happens with these things. Nomadland, yeah, I just kind of discussed it, didn't I? Promising Young Woman. Sort of a surprise, I think. Emerald Fennell's little revenge black comedy. It feels like a smaller, smarter movie than usually gets nominated for Oscars, but that's because I think the pandemic really allowed a lot of these little movies to get some traction because there's not these great big white elephant movies moving through the system right now. So we have another smart, sharp, independent film, independent in outlook, if not in financing, because I don't care about that. It's just, remember, independent movies are those that make you feel kind of weird. Studio movies are those that reassure you, pat you on the head, tell you everything's going to be all right. Sound of Metal, which is another tremendous, dislocating film that in another year I couldn't really see sneaking into the Best Picture category. Yeah, maybe it could, but it's really well made. It's really good performances. It's kind of like The Father in that it gives you this experiential sort of feeling. Yeah, it's if you want to feel the movie, that's one of them. It's about a heavy metal musician who's going deaf. If you haven't heard. And the last one on the not the last. Yeah, the last one listed is Trial of Chicago 7, which is Aaron Sorkin's talky courtroom drama based on the actual trial of Chicago 7, which is something that I was fascinated with as a kid, and I think I wrote my little piece about it. That I carried the book around, Tales of Hoffman, for a while, because I used to dip into it and read, and I knew all those characters. Dave Dellinger was kind of a hero of mine. It's a very well-made movie, and it's exactly the sort of movie that gets nominated for Oscar. It's exactly the sort of movie that wins Oscars. I don't think this year it's going to win. I think Nomadland is going to win. Though what I'm basing that on is mainly my preference and gut instinct. I mean, there's not a movie on this list that I dislike. There's not a movie on here that I think doesn't deserve it. Though, as I've said before, what does deserve mean? I mean, so anyway, so that's the best. We're going to take a while if we're going through all of them like this. But anyway, that's Best Picture. I won't go through everything then, because I know it's going to be more than 30 minutes if I do that. Best Director, again, Chung for Minari, Fennell for Promising Young Woman, Fincher for Mank, Zhao for Nomadland, and then you finally get Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, which was a Danish film, stars Mads Mikkelsen. I wrote about this film. I really love this film. It's about drinking, and you can see why I wrote about it in on my spirits column for Sundays. So yeah, here you go. But I really like it. I really like it very much. I like But I don't think that you're going to give it to a foreign language film. I don't think the best director. I think the best director is going to be Zhao. And I think that there's an outside chance that Fincher could win. And I think there's just a puncher's chance for Lee Isaac Chung. It's like my feeling is that the best director is whoever makes the best movie. So it should be kind of like the best picture and best director should go hand in hand. It rarely does, or at least it doesn't as often. Well, not always anyway. But again, I'm not unhappy of any of these people winning. I wouldn't be. I think that there'll be compensatory things for the people who don't win. I think Chung could probably win a writing award, and so could Fennel. Whoever doesn't win this one. Best actor. Now, this is an interesting category for me because I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like Riz Ahmed in Sound of Metal. He's very good as this heavy metal musician who goes deaf, a drummer. Chadwick Boseman, I think, has got to be the favorite, but it's really a sentimental favorite because, Chadwick left us, but he's very, very good in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. He's really good in it. And part of what makes it good, though, is knowing that he's living with the knowledge that he doesn't have long, and you can just kind of feel him throwing himself into this character, and it's really heartbreaking to watch. Same thing with Hopkins. Hopkins is heartbreaking to watch. Anthony Hopkins in The Father. He's heartbreaking to watch, too. Gary Oldman in Mank, I think he's going to not win. I mean, not because he does a bad job. He does a great job just about everything he's in. I saw him in, what was it? The Crisis. Yeah, which isn't a very good movie. He's great in it. I mean, he reminded me of a real guy, he's like my doctor or somebody you meet. He's not Gary Oldman, but he's a really consummate actor. Same thing with Steve Young. I don't think he's going to win. I'm glad he got nominated just because I'm glad to see people who do good work get recognized. I mean, there are a lot of people who do good work that never get recognized, but these are 5 people did good work, got recognized. Good for them. Best actress, Viola Davis, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. She's commanding as Ma Rainey. I don't know if it's a big enough part to really be a best actress part. Andra Day, The United States vs. Billie Holiday. Finally, we get to a movie I have not seen yet, and I am sorry about that because I actually have a little interest in Billie Holiday, and I just recently rewatched Lady Sings the Blues, in part to contrast it with this performance, but I just never got around to it. Frances Kirby is excellent in the very hard to watch, for me, Pieces of a Woman. I mean, Pieces of a Woman was melodramatic, and it was tough, and I can see why any actress would want to do it. I'll put it that way. I think the favorite is definitely Frances McDormand in Nomadland. She she magnetizes your eyes, and you can't look away from her, and you can't really say why. And it's really, a lot of it's just pure star quality. Even though she's not glamorous at all, there's something about her that is very, very enthralling. And you watch her, and you just can't take your eyes off of her, and you understand that's why some of these people are where they are. Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman is very good. She is probably not going to win, and that's okay because she's very good in almost everything she does. Again, I like to see people who do good jobs get nominated and get rewarded for that. She's very good. Sacha Baron Cohen in The Trial of Chicago 7, Best Supporting Actor. Maybe. He did a very good job of recalling the Jerry Rubin, the Abby Hoffman that I remember. Now, whether that's an accurate Abby Hoffman or not, it jives. It's in tune with what I remember. And whenever you're playing an historical character, I think that's important. Though most people are not going to know who Abby Hoffman are. Most people who watch this movie are probably born well after 1968 and don't have any memory of this firsthand, and so it doesn't really matter. But but I thought he did a very good. I think he's very good. I don't like his Borat movies, but not. But I do like him, and I do like the idea behind them. I do like the sensibility behind them and the courage to do that kind of thing. But I think he's better used as a straight dramatic actor. I just do. I just think he's excellent as that. Daniel Kaluuya in Judas and the Black Messiah. I probably just butchered his name. I'm sorry. I tend to do that. Not because of any disrespect, but just because I really don't know how it sounds. I've never heard anybody say it out loud, believe it or not. I can't recall. I know he was in Get Out. I know there's a lot of stuff. I don't really know how you say his name. Sorry. He's very good in it. I think his performance, the one that I think is a better performance is Lakeith Stanfield, who's also nominated. But I can't say why it's a better performance because I think they're both playing the characters they're supposed to play. Maybe it's because I have a better historical memory of. I mean, I never saw Fred Hampton on TV. I did see William Bill O'Neill, and I think that maybe that colors my particular take on this. But I like Lakeith Stanfield. And I think this because they're both nominated for the same movie. They're going to cancel each other out. Though, as it doesn't always happen, didn't happen with The Last Picture Show, where Jeff Bridges and Ben Johnson both got nominated, and Ben Johnson won. So, you never know. Paul Raci for Sound of Metal. He's probably, if I was going to pick someone, if it was up to me, I would give him the Oscar. He's an actor that no one really knows about who is really playing a version of himself in this, but it's fascinating because he grew up with deaf parents. He's an expert with sign language, and he's in this movie. He's teaching sign language to, Riz Ahmed's character. It's Leslie Odom Jr., One Night in Miami. Plays Sam Cooke, sings. If that's the sort of thing he's very good, and sounds like Sam Cooke. And I wasn't a big fan of the movie One Night in Miami. Not that I hated it. It's just that I didn't really think it was as great as some people did. I mean, I'm just sort of yeah, all right. Nice idea. But, yeah. Okay, Best Supporting Actress. Let's get out of that. I just didn't care for One Night in Miami for whatever reason. It just felt contrived and stagey to me. I think I would have liked the play. I really do. And Regina King, good job, but I just didn't think so. Okay, this Best Supporting Actress is an interesting category because you have Glenn Close from Hillbilly Elegy, which has been roundly dismissed and excoriated as not a good movie. Olivia Colman in The Father, who is excellent, very good in that. Amanda Seyfried in Mank, yeah, and Yoo Hong Young from Minari, which would be my choice, I think. I mean, I really think she did a great job as the grandmother in the youngish Randy grandmother in Minari. I think she's wonderful. And Maria Bakalova from Borat's subsequent movie film, who I really do think that's a wonderful performance. I don't think the Oscar she's going to get an Oscar for it. I could be wrong. I haven't even read the odds or anything, but I don't think so. But again, I don't have any problem with any of these choices. My choice would probably be Minari's again, but there you go. Original screenplay, let's just go through them real quick because we're at the 20-minute mark almost. Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, Trial of Chicago 7, all well written. I think that Minari will probably get a compensatory Oscar here because they're not going to win Best Picture. They're not going to win Best Director. I don't think. I think they'll win here because of that, not because they're necessarily more deserving. Though I do think it's really, really beautifully written. Promising Young Woman also has a shot here, as does Sound of Metal. It's a good category. It's a really good category. I always wonder about these writing categories. The original screenplay. Usually, again, I tend to go toward the the the, the better movies tend to be better written, and the biggest problem with movies, by my lights, is generally the writing. Generally, that's the weak spot of just about every film I see. Adapted screenplay. I don't know how Borat gets into here, but I think that's more. The Father, yeah, I can see that. That's an adapted. The guy adapted it from his own play. Nomadland is an interesting adaptation because it's a fictional adaptation of a nonfiction book, of a pretty good book, but very much different in tone than the movie, and that's a really interesting thing. One Night in Miami, again, it's a play that's being adapted. It feels still like the play. I think I would like the play better than the movie, as I said. And The White Tiger, which I really love the film. Ramin Bahrani adapted his friend's book. A Booker Prize winner, or was it just on the short list for the Booker Prize? I didn't read it. I mean, I remember it. I never read The White Tiger, the novel. I would like to. And if I think I would have a better. But yeah, it's. I think Nomadland's going to win. I really do. I think Nomadland. Animated feature. Soul is going to. Okay, here's the nominees: Onward, Disney Pixar, Over the Moon, which I think is Netflix. Shaun the Sheep, Farmageddon, which sounds great to me. I didn't see it. I missed it completely. I didn't miss Farmageddon. Soul and Wolfwalkers. Soul and Wolfwalkers are the two you have to worry about here. And Soul is going to win. I'm not sure it's a better movie than Wolfwalkers, but I think it's a good movie. Onward, nah. I mean, it's okay. And Over the Moon, okay. Shaun the Sheep, I haven't seen it. I have got to see that. I'm skipping over these. Let's go to, okay. Score. Wow, Score. The Five Bloods is in here for Score. I think The Five Bloods is one of those movies that if you want to talk about getting snubbed, it got snubbed. Tenet's in here for visual effects. Tenet's going to win visual effects. Documentary feature. Now, this was a really good year for documentaries. There's a ton of documentaries you could have had in here. The ones I came up with: Collective, Crip Camp, Mole Agent, Octopus Teacher, and Time. I've seen 3 of the 5. That's pretty. I've seen Collective, Crip Camp, and Time. Collective would be my choice, but Time is really, really good too. Crip Camp is really good too, but it's in a different sort of flavor for me. International features. This is the last one I wanted to do. Again, Collective is in here. So if it wins here, doesn't it win documentary feature too, or does it mean that if it wins documentary feature, it won't win here? I think Another Round is going to win, and I think it should win just because I really like it. But I have to say that this is another category that, even though I see a lot of foreign films, I don't see them when they come out. I haven't seen Quo Vadis Idea. I haven't seen The Man Who Sold His Skin. I haven't seen Better Days. So I've seen 2 of the 5, which is a really bad percentage, really bad batting average. But that's what I've got for you. So anyway, Oscars, April 26th. We've got the nominations now. It's a strange year. It opened everything up. The pandemic did, and maybe it's going to change some people's viewing habits. And that I think that we're going to really get used to these movies cycling to home video a lot quicker, and maybe the same day and date sort of thing. I don't think it's going to necessarily be this stigma anymore. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you next week. My arm is getting better. If you're wondering, Randall Berry, it still hurts like and we will talk at you and read the paper